Good morning, Internet, and welcome back to the workshop. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what we've been up to. But first, we had in the last video all the engine in and torqued up. Well, things didn't go quite to plan. We've got a bit of a disaster on our hands and the handbook lied. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick rundown of where we are, what we're up to, and where we go next. Okay, if you remember, we said we were going to prime this oil pump. Well, it didn't quite go to plan. We had a problem getting the top cover off. It's very, very tight on the left and right hand sides. I struggled and struggled and struggled for about an hour, could not get the cover off, so all those nice tight engine bolts that we torqued up, we've had to undo. And I had to drop the engine down to get the cover off. Okay, we've got the oil cooler fitted with the pipework. I did that yesterday, just figured we just needed to get on with it, tried to make progress, and it kind of went backwards. So what I'm going to do today, I've got that cover off now, so what we can do is I've managed to get a little bit of oil in the sump, as you can see by the amount I've spilt there. So what we're going to try and do today is we're going to try and get oil to come out of this main bearing here. I've got a little device that I've manufactured to insert into the hole where the water pump is, so we can turn the oil pump. There's a little bit of a reservoir in the sump, so we should have enough so we can make oil come out of that main bearing. Okay, so it might look like something from Star Wars, but what I've managed to do here, we had an old water pump shaft, and what I've done is I've attached that via a socket that I've knocked onto the end of it in an adapter into a drill, and this end has got a slot in it which will locate on the end of the oil pump shaft, so we can turn it. That should allow us to gain enough momentum in the oil pump to pump some oil around. Okay. Necessity is the mother of invention, that's what they say. So back to it then. There's our main bearing. We're going to pop our drill in there like that. Away we go. And we should see oil coming out of that main bearing before long. If we do, we know all is well. There it goes. Ooh, look at that. That's beautiful. Okay, so we now know that oil's coming out of that main bearing there. So, without further ado, we're going to get this casing on. And then any oil that comes out of that when we're doing the cylinder head will go back into the crankcase rather than drip out all over the tray. Right, we're going to pop this flywheel on the end of this crankshaft now. So the book tells us to clean the taper with solvent, so that's what I've done. And then we pop the keyway in. I think that'll need a little bit of persuasion. Really, really careful with that. So, next thing is our starter clutch. Again, make sure you're keeping the end of that crankshaft clean. There we go. Now the inside of this, which is the rotor alternator. Clean the inside of that taper. Right, now we've got to locate that keyway. Got to locate that keyway with that keyway. Now, because of its properties as a starter clutch, you won't be able to push that on there. So what we have to do is slightly turn that cog at the back so that the starter clutch will engage. So if we turn that, there we go, it all engages, and that's your rotor on. Get bowl to wipe, pop that in. And there we go. Now all we've got to do is torque it up. Okay, next we have our idler gear, which goes on there. That's the starter motor idler, and we're about there with that. That's it.
for a while, Emma. It's good enough for Rolls Royce. It's good enough for me.